Right, so on to the next battery job of the day. This is a Dell XPS 9380 or something like that. 13-inch, needs another battery. This one is quite amusing because the battery is almost the same size as the laptop. So I don't know where they find the space to put all the rest of it in, but we'll see what we've got when we open it up. I mean, there's the battery and sitting on the laptop. So let's see what we've got. This one uses Torx screws. The best I've got is a T5H bit on my screwdriver, but let's see what we find. Again, I've never been inside one of these, so this is a first. Right, oh, captives. Looks like they're all the same size, which is always useful. And some of the early laptops that I worked on seem to have about 5 or 6 different size screws, or there was always one which was slightly longer than the others, and if you put it in the wrong place, you put it through the motherboard. We won't be doing that today. So this one, by the looks of things, the base comes off the bottom of the computer. For my first looks of it, don't believe there are any hidden screws on this. It seems to be mainly an HP type of thing. So let's just try with the plastic pry tools first. Let's see if I'm in the right place. Looks like I am. I might have to move to the metallized one just to see where we're at, and possibly open it up a little bit just to make sure where the seam is. Yes, it is definitely, the seam is definitely there. So we will try. Definitely don't want you getting into this device. Okay, let's get it down flat and we will try working our way in from the front edge. There we go. Tend to try to avoid using metal tools wherever I can. Sometimes you just have to. Oh, there's a nice little booby trap there. Looks like the power light is right on the edge where it separates. I must confess I'm not the biggest fan of Dell, but that's literally just a personal opinion. This is not a friendly device by any stretch of the imagination. I really don't want you getting into this computer. Okay, gradually coming apart and then putting itself back together again. I think we'll pause the video there while I try and get this apart. I need both hands. Right, so I have managed to release the case. It was just very, very well attached. Lots of switches and things right on the very, very edge, but Nevertheless, now in, Dell really does not want you to get into this computer, but that is always the way it goes. So just double checking the battery type. Again, it's an aftermarket battery. Did check the customer. The battery, which is 3 times or a third of the cost of the original Dell, was more than happy to go with an aftermarket, a good aftermarket battery. So it looks like, having had Torx screws for the main casing of the computer, just standard Phillips sized Phillips type for the battery. So I'm going to do this by hand. Just going to release the battery first, and then you can see the connector there. Feels like there's a really strange thing, so I have to use the longer, pointier screwdriver. Really do not like stripping threads. You've got these lovely flat screws for most of the battery. And there's a completely different type in the center. Use another bit pointier bit. Middle. So that should free the battery up. There we go. Battery's up. So we'll just pull the battery connector back like that. Should be released enough, and out it comes. Replacement, slide it in, it's a stiffer cable than the original. There we go. Again, there's no CMOS battery on this, so, and from experience, I think Dells can be a little bit finicky when you change the battery. Maybe more so than the HP, which just came straight back to life. But we'll see. I could be proved wrong. And sometimes I like being proved wrong. So yes, with the casing, it is held on extremely well. So you do need to have a mix of forceful and cautious, so you don't damage it. They ended up resorting to a very, very thin pick or plectrum. One of these, which came in another battery, it's much thinner, but obviously it's a lot gentler than sticking something metal into somewhere you're not really sure where it's going. So that's in. I'll just put the cover back on without fixing it down. Turn it over and see what it makes of it. Hopefully I have a working computer. I need to get a power cable for it, so I'm just going to pause the video while I find all that. Sure enough, looks like it's trying to start up at least. Or it did. There we go. There's a boot screen. So now again, all we have to do is wait for it to charge its battery up, and then put it all back together again.